back, and I'm really excited for our next session. We're honored to showcase an award-winning educator with more than a decade of experience teaching and acting as the principal of various schools. She's also SDG ambassador and the Climate Action Project facilitator. She is an optimistic individual who competes with herself to achieve, grow, and evolve in life and career. She believes that everyone is unique with their strengths and weaknesses. Every opportunity that life presents us teaches us something, so never stop learning. She is Anita Singh, representing the United Arab Emirates. Her session title is Importance of Integrating Values in Education. Hello, Anita. How are you?
Hi, Anusha. I'm fine, thank you. How are you?
We are good. We are good. We are ready. Please, we are ready for you, and the stage is yours. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Anusha. Thank you so much. A very good evening to everyone who's present here. Before I begin, I would like to thank, Education Influence, Gavin McCormack and Anusha. They both are doing a wonderful job, and this platform that you have presented to all of us in this past 5 days is just amazing. Lovely sessions and an opportunity where even you can learn from others and at the same time, share your knowledge with the others. So thank you for that, Anusha. And I'll now share my screen with you. I hope I'm able to, yeah. Yes, I hope you're able to see my screen. Okay. I hope this is fine now. Well, just a little about myself. Yes. Thank you, Anusha. I hope you're able to see and hear me loud and clear.
Yes, we can. Thank you, Anita.
So just before we begin, a little about myself. As Anusha said, I'm an Education Influence member. This year, I had the opportunity of being the Jess Oman speaker. I'm a happiness coach. And that's why yesterday also in the session, I said, happiness is very close to my heart. A school leader, a principal who believes that every child has that, the ability to make that difference and be the change maker that the world really needs now. I'm a trained school improvement officer. Like I've taken the school inspector training, global ambassador of sustainability, Toastmaster, HP Idea Fellow, member, Teach SD ambassador, and as Sonal was talking about climate action and the environment, it was a topic that's very close to my heart. I'm passionate, and I'm a climate action project facilitator too, and a country climate action ambassador. So this is just about myself, trying to do a little bit what is possible, for the society. Because at the end of the day, the purpose of your living is to give back to the society what you have learned. That's what I have been doing all my life for the past 22 years in the field of education, because I feel educating people, because education is the most, teaching is the most noble profession. And I tell that as a principal, as a vice principal, I always told my teachers that, this is the most noblest profession because we create all other professions. And that's why I always say every educator should be proud about themselves, about what they are doing, because they are doing what the society actually needs, creating other professions so that we have a better place to live in. So now to begin with, the importance of integrating values in education. We all have been talking about, that holistic education is the future. And imagine Aristotle had said this quote years ago. Educating the mind without educating the hearts is no education at all. And I'm sure that you all will agree, especially after the pandemic, that education of the heart played a more important role than the education of the mind. I'm sure by the raise of hands, can we see how many of you agree with that? At least so that I know that, yes, what I'm thinking is right or whether it is not. So that's why I thought it is better that we, we integrate these values in our children, because COVID times did teach us one thing very specifically. Children, adults who were strong mentally were the ones who went through the COVID period without much damage being done to them or to their close loved ones. So, and all that boils down to the being mentally strong is the values. You're emotionally strong, so then your values come into play. And that's why I think it's very important that we integrate the values in education so that our children also grow up not only physically strong, but also mentally strong. So before we begin, I'm posting a form for all of you. I would just like to see that how many of you believe that we need to integrate values into it. A quick response, please, just a yes, no, that's it. So please, I posted the link in the chat box. Please, if you could kindly just access it so that we can see what you think about it, that whether do we really need to think about it, or is it just that it's my opinion, or maybe just a few who think the same. I have been attending sessions where, and I think even yesterday we had the sessions where we spoke about resilience. We spoke about being adaptable.
Hi, Anita. I'm sorry to interrupt you. I'm really sorry to interrupt you, but if we visit the link, it does not redirect us to your specific form, but it just redirects us to Microsoft form. So, yeah, thank you.
Yeah, that Microsoft form is my form only. That Microsoft form is my form.
But it just says a generic Microsoft notice to create a form, but it's not your specific form, if you understand what I'm saying.
Okay, 1 minute, just 1 minute, please. 1 minute, let me see.
No worries.
Just a moment. I'll just stop the share.
Also, I would like to just say thank you for your lovely background. It is just wonderful. That's so amazing that you went to those lengths to make it this presentation so amazing. I'm so appreciated. Thank you.
I thought that it is necessary that we are part of this wonderful platform, and the best thing that we could do is that we could at least show it to the world, showcase it to the world that this is the wonderful work which Education Influence is doing, and that's why I thought it important that I'm sharing the form again.
Thank you.
I hope it works this time. Just kindly see if it is accessible. I don't know why. Okay, I think the timing is from 4 o'clock. Is it?
The form says this form is currently not accepting response.
Accepting. Okay, fine, no problem. I think it is at 4 o'clock that I had given.
You may use the chat function as well, Anita, for Zoom.
Yeah, you can use the chat option. I think all the members can use the chat option so that if they agree to it. Okay, so what's your opinion? I would just like to know in the chat whether yes or no. What is it that you feel that whether we should include values and integrate values into our regular teaching or no? If you can have that, please. That will be helpful. Yes, agree. I absolutely agree. Yes. We have around 23 strongly agree. Of course, I do strongly agree too. Of course, yes. Thank you. So I guess 75 or maybe everyone over here agrees that yes, we need to integrate values into it, into our daily education. So why do we need to integrate? Why do we feel that we need to integrate values? What is the importance of it? The most important thing is that it helps give a positive direction to the students to shape their future. I usually tell my children in the school that your talent can take you there, but it is your values that help you sustain and be there for a longer period of time. Because your values talk about how you treat other people. It is how you accept other people and how you behave yourself and how much do you work with integrity and honesty. Those are the values that people are looking for. We all agree that in today's world, any big organization, they are not looking at exactly the degrees, but they're looking at the skills and the values that a person is having. EQ has become very important It was earlier important, but now it has become all the more important, I would say, because we have seen that people who are emotionally strong, who are mentally strong, are able to adapt and be agile and be resilient and come up trumps when there is any kind of a setback. It helps students. So these values, they help the students to find their ikigai. I'm sure you all would have heard and read the book also, Ikigai, which is finding the purpose of your life. When your purpose of your life, your goal is set, then you start working towards that goal. So children also can start working towards their goals, set their goals at an early stage and start progressing towards it. Because when the purpose of the life is set, the goals are set, and obviously it leads to you or the children doing what the child loves to do the most. It becomes a key factor to teach them the best way to live that can be beneficial not only to them, but also the community they live in. Now, why is it that it is not only beneficial to them but also to the community that they are living in? Because when you have your values straight, you tend to be a more happier person, and a happier child is a more productive child. When I say productive in the sense that they do their work, they are more interested, engaged in their studies, in their what you call the day-to-day life that they are living in. And similarly, as an adult too, if we have our values straight, if we are working with honesty, if we are working with integrity, it also helps us be a happier person, and a happier person is always a productive person. That's what research has said. And Harvard did a research with 411 people. Mr. Seligman, he had done that, Professor Seligman, he had done a survey. And the result was that the people who practiced gratitude, which is one of the highest value, they say that gratitude is the mother of all values. So the ones who were practicing gratitude were the ones who were more optimistic after a test of 41 days than the people who were not given the activities that expressed gratitude. So lots of research has been done in this, and hence the values that we inculcate in our children in school is what is going to keep them strong mentally, and a mentally stronger child will easily be able to overcome any physical, lack of strength. But a child who's physically strong but mentally very weak will find it very difficult to face the challenges that the life throws at them. It helps students build stronger relations with family and friends. Obviously, we've all seen that during the COVID times, I think empathy was one thing which kept people going, and the love, the affection, and the compassion that was shared around. We saw many experiences of that, right? We heard stories, we saw WhatsApp messages, everything that mentioned about it, and empathy came in. And this education influence started with the empathy week, keeping that in mind with what we had gone through during the COVID time when the COVID struck in 2020. What else does the value does? It helps develop character and an overall personality of students. And most importantly, it helps students develop as an emotionally strong person with a growth mindset. We were talking about a session earlier, I think 2 sessions previously, about a growth mindset and a fixed mindset. Now, a growth mindset, a person who's mentally strong will always have a growth mindset because they know they can adapt, they are agile, and they can adopt anything and grow accordingly. Whereas a fixed mindset, as the speaker rightly said, will be very afraid of taking those risks and facing challenges. So these are the reasons why we need to integrate values into our daily teaching. Now, before we go with that, I would like to ask you now, I hope this link works. The Mentimeter, I hope. If you log on to Mentimeter, you get a code. I can paste the code over here if you want to, and you can access it. Please write any 3 values. Now, every value that you possess, that's your strength. So any 3 values that you think you have, please kindly write it. I'm pasting the code over here. It's 2665360. The code is 2665360. If you can go to Mentimeter and access it, are you able to access it?
Hi, Anita. I just went to the link and I typed on my 3 values. And when I pressed entered, it said, please wait for the presenter to show the next slide. Has the slide not changed?
No, it has changed. Yeah, it has results. I can see it. Yes, 2 participants so far. I can see them. I think people have accessed it.
So Anusha, I think that's just telling you that she'll have more coming up and you've submitted for this, this PowerPoint. So it's just waiting for her, for your next question.
Thank you.
No problem, no problem. I think no problem. That's fine. See, this is what is coming up. I think you can see it. Gratitude, honesty, equality, happiness, empathetic, compassion, rightly, integrity, invincible. Okay, that's a nice value that I'm learning about. Resilience, of course, yes. Resilience is something which is going to keep us moving forward. And I think it was a resilience that has made us come out of the pandemic, which was the worst ever that we had ever witnessed in. I'm sure everybody will agree to that. So now I go back to my slide again. Yes. So you all have written about your core values and the values that we need to integrate. Gratitude is one thing which everybody, I think, agrees upon. So gratitude is the first value that we need to inculcate in our children. Now, one thing I think which the children missed out during even one of the sessions, I think Miss Sonal, no, not Miss Sonal, I think another person, Miss Tona, right? She was talking about children not switching on the cameras when they were having their online classes. Now that is because not only that they were not interested or they were not engaged in their studies, but it was also that they did not realize how fortunate they were because they had this opportunity of getting the education online, whereas there were around 8 million children around the world who could not access any kind of education whatsoever because they did not have the means or the wherewithals to have that education going for them for that 1 year. I'm sure all educators are aware of it, that we have a major education gap. And the reason being that these 2 years where the studies were online, we had children who could not, and it was not 1, 2, as I said, more than 8 million children, and that's a lot. But the ones who had that access, they did not make use of that opportunity very well. And that's very unfortunate. And somewhere down the line, children today, they have it quite easy for them. So what happens is they take it for granted. They do not appreciate the effort that the parents take to ensure that their studies or their education is continuing in spite of every setback that they face. Understanding tolerance and inclusion. This is the second thing which children need to be taught. Because accepting anybody for who they are is very important. Bullying is a big problem in schools. Why? Because children fail to accept others as they are. They want to see others in their own light, in their own shadow. They do not accept that, okay, someone else can be different. So this is very important that we teach children how to accept others. And that is what tolerance and inclusion promotes. And I'm very happy that the country that I'm working in, UAE, is very keen on promoting tolerance. and they ensure that they have different, nationwide activities which promotes tolerance and inclusion. So I think all the schools all around the world, these are the small little things that we need to teach our children. Care and compassion. How many times do we see the elderly or someone who may be not so privileged as what some other child may be? How many times do we see that they are ill-treated or mistreated? So these values are something which is going to make the world a better place to live in. Materialistic world will not give you the happiness what a world where you show and have strong value or moral grounds, the happiness that you get from that, you will never ever get in any other situation. And this, the children need to learn. We as adults, we learn, we know, but children need to be taught, because most of them are nuclear families, single child, or maybe at the most 2 children, both parents working. So it becomes difficult, especially in India. Earlier, the concept of a joint family was there, where you had grandparents, aunts, uncles, nieces, nephews, all staying together in one place. But now, because of the nuclear family, it becomes difficult. And these values were learned by default in the earlier days because of the joint family concept. But now, with a child being separate, living by himself or herself, and the parents working, that value time, the family time, all that has dwindled. It's a need of the hour. It's not a bane that both parents cannot work. It's a need of the hour, because every parent wants to give the child the best. So we need to teach these values. That's why the onus has now come onto the schools, that we integrate these values in the school so that children are not left behind in this aspect. Integrity, again, it was mentioned in the Mentimeter, is again something which is very important. Respect and responsibility. Self-respect is a very key thing. I will be discussing these core values, that how we can implement them and integrate them into our education. Because the moment we tell a teacher that we need to integrate the values into the learning, then the teacher again gets a little confused that, okay, how am I going to integrate it into my lesson plan? Because the lesson plan is what the teachers go by. So integrating another aspect apart from the content of the subject or the curriculum, then it becomes a little difficult, and it can be a little hassle or overwhelming for a teacher if they do not have the kind of a guidance or they do not know how to go about it. Very simple strategies that I will be talking about, which you can definitely take it as a key takeaway. You can take it, use it, and then I'll be very happy if I can get a feedback from you for that. So the first value, being grateful, is the beginning of thankfulness. A thankful heart is not only the greatest virtue, but the parent of all the other virtues. That important it is to being grateful. So how do we teach our children how to be grateful? How do we do that? Oh, I skipped a slide. Okay. Ways to integrate thankfulness. What we did in our school was that we made the children, at the end of the day, we had the 10 minutes form period time after the school got over, after the classes got over. That 5 to 10 minutes time was for the form tutor or the class teacher to have a one-to-one or a group discussion with the children, asking them how the day went. So during that time, you ask the child to write one thank you note for anything that went well today. So in a day, maybe the maths teacher said something good, or a friend helped the child, or anything that can be. Make the child write it and pin it up on the board inside the classroom. Next day, when they come, start the day by reading it out. So now if any child has thanked a friend or a classmate, so that child also gets to know it, that yes, Anita Singh thanked Anusha. So Anusha may not be aware of it because Anita has written it and posted it on the board. But when the teacher makes them read it the next day in the morning during the assembly time, it also builds a relationship. So this is one of the things that can be done. If a child is not able to do anything, or this time is short and you're not able to ask the children to write, just tell them to close your eyes for one moment and just say thank you to something mentally. They can just say, okay, I'm thankful for this God, or whatever it is. Children can maintain gratitude journals. You can ask them to write every night what they are thankful for. There's also a gratitude journal. You can tell them to write it alphabetically. Like, I'm thankful for A for air, because without the air, if we are not able to breathe, I won't live a second. So I have to be thankful for that too. We take these things for granted, but this is something we need to be thankful to the nature for. So A, B, C, let them write something from each letter. So that can be another one variation in that. Then ask them to count their blessings. Teach them how to count their blessings. Talk to them about what the other children may be missing, which they have. There are many children around, more than 10 million people around the world who do not have a 1 square meal for a day. And they have 3. So they should be counting their blessings. Then praying, of course, it's up to everyone that whatever religion they follow, they can do that. Meditation is another very great thing, which helps you become more thankful, more aware, and mindfulness. When I say mindfulness, it is about being aware of your surroundings. How many times we just throw away the food? We do not realize that there are others who do not have it. Then being aware, mindful is again being aware of your friends. There can be a time when one of your best friend is not talking anything, not doing anything, but maybe there's something that is wrong with the child. Maybe the child had a bad day. So those small little things will help you integrate. And this is nothing that you're doing in your lesson plan. It is everything that can be done at the end of the day. Even if you don't have the time to do it during the end of the day, if you do not have that form period, as we have in our school, you can always ask the child to write it as a homework. And it hardly takes 2 minutes. And diary writing, everybody knows, is the best stress reliever. So a journal writing and a gratitude journal writing will all the more help a child to be talking to themselves, bringing out the best in themselves, and putting it on paper. So this is one thing that how we can integrate thankfulness. The next one is the fruit salad activity. Now, what is the fruit salad activity? Everybody will be interested to know. Okay. This activity-based learning, it helps integrate tolerance and inclusion. How can you do that? Ask the children to bring some fruits. One of the days, any day that the school can decide, the teacher can decide, a science teacher can decide, because fruits are obviously healthy fruit, anything. So you ask them to bring a fruit, and then in the class, with the help of the teacher assistant, they cut the fruits with the help of the child-friendly scissors, knives, etc., tools, kitchen tools. And then you mix it and they have it. Now, once they have it, ask them the big question. Okay, did you enjoy the fruit salad? Obviously, everybody enjoys it. There will be very rarely anybody who will say that I don't like fruit salad, but most of them will definitely enjoy it. So ask them, okay, why did they enjoy? Would they rather enjoy an apple by itself, or was it this mixture? And then integrate the value of inclusion and tolerance. Why? Because every fruit has brought in its flavor into the fruit salad. And hence the salad is more tastier, rather than me having and getting only the taste of a fruit. Similarly, a classroom is made up of 25 children who are unique in their own, and they bring their own skills, qualities, everything into the classroom. So we need to respect what they do. We need to accept them as they are, and then work together as a team. When we start promoting this into our daily, of course, we will not have the fruit salad activity every day, but this is just an example. You start building on small little things which promotes this kind of tolerance and inclusion. This teaches children how to accept one another without being judgmental, without being apprehensive of any sort, without any apprehensions of any sort. So this is another activity which helps to promote the second value that I was talking about, tolerance and inclusion. Now coming to care and compassion, connect with the community. I'm sure there are old age homes everywhere, if not the homes for the underprivileged. Students can be taken there. Let them spend some time with the elderly. And when I say they can spend some time with the elderly, is they can sing for them, they can perform, or just sit and talk. This is an experience, this is a first-hand experience that I would like to say, that during festivities especially, the people who stay at old age homes, they do not have anybody who take care of them. The only thing that they long for is for someone to come and speak to them, talk to them, spend some time with them. Now this promotes care and compassion in the child. It helps develop care and compassion in the child. And when they learn this, that you need to be compassionate, you need to care for the others, they start reflecting this in their own lives at home, with their grandparents, with their parents who are old. When we teach them, catch them young is what they say. And that is why it's important that we teach them these values from the childhood, so that by the time they step out of the school and get into the university, they have their values in place, which will always guide them and direct them towards the best successful life that they can want to. So these are small little things that we can do as educators. Integrity, yes, we all know. It is the need of the hour. It's like telling the children to do the right even when no one is watching. Doing the right when somebody is watching you, that's different. But doing the right when nobody is watching you, that's integrity. And that's a very key value for you to have a happier life. Because you get a peaceful sleep at night when you have nothing to hide. And how do we teach them this? Articulate the family values to them. Ask them, okay, what are your family values? What is it that you, or something that is unique about your family? Develop a moral vocabulary. So when I say develop a moral vocabulary, it is about talking about, honesty, integrity. Let these words be like over there, the word wall. Make them so that they are always constantly there in front of their eyes. Most importantly, reward the respectful behavior. How do we do that? Now, reward the respectful behavior, and also, if they have been honest about it. Like suppose there have been instances where my own daughter, in fact, she had scored, I think, 2 marks. She got 2 marks less when she counted her marks in the paper, but the teacher by mistake had written 2 extra. So she went to the teacher and she told, okay, ma'am, I think there is an error in the calculation. I should be getting 2 marks less than what I have got. But the teacher was very happy with it, because she knew that this girl has come honestly and told me that, ma'am, you have given me 2 marks extra. So she said, okay, fine, no problem, you go. So that is rewarding that behavior. So what happens is it builds the confidence in the child that if I'm honest, it may be risky. I may have the thing of losing 2 marks, but at the same time, it has developed a very good value in her, that it is good to be honest because she saw that it rewarded her. She was honest. She was getting 2 marks less, but the teacher appreciated the fact that she was honest. So those 2 marks were given to her. So appreciate that. Explore the consequences. When I say explore the consequences, it's not about punishment. It is not about corporal punishment. It is about telling them that what can happen if you do not do your work. Like, so for example, now we have the online exams. Assessments were all online during the COVID times. And we all also know and agree that many answers were from Google. So the first assessment when that happened, I'm talking from my own experience. When the first assessment happened, we called the children individually. And we spoke to them. And I told them, I said, these answers are not your answers. So what I'm going to do is, I'm going to give you another paper online, and you will do the assessment. But there was that but. This is what I'm talking about, explore consequences. But second time, if this is repeated, then there will be no marks assigned to your paper. So even if something that you have not taken from Google, that will lead to this, that even the answer that you've written rightly by your own will not be taken into account. So, you know, they are children. They will learn from mistakes. And it is not about stopping them from making the mistakes. It is stopping them from repeating the mistakes. That is what we need to when we talk about exploring consequences. Respond appropriately. Now, the same thing. When the children came in with their assessments and we saw that the answers were all Google and they were copy-pasted from the Google, we did not reprimand them. We spoke to them personally, individually on Microsoft Teams, along with the parent. First, we spoke to the child. We told them we are going to talk to the parent, and then we spoke to the parent. So respond appropriately, because what happens is when you deal with the problem in the right approach, with the right approach, it helps the child build a trust with you as an educator. So that trust helps in building a strong relationship with your students, which helps with your student being confident of coming and telling you if he or she has made a mistake, because he or she knows that she will not be reprimanded, but will be guided. And also be a role model. So if I'm expecting my children to be honest, I expect my children to be respectful, I need to model that myself as an educator. Teach digital etiquettes. Right now, it is very important. We all agree to it. And share meaningful stories. There are a lot of small stories which you can talk about, to promote integrity and encourage integrity. And 2 minutes, 3 minutes maximum, if you spend in a day, after your plenary, after your summary, or any time of the day, it helps to build these kind of values in the children. Respect and responsibility. This is the next value that we need to develop. And the most important thing is self-respect is the key, because only if you respect yourself will you be able to respect others. They say you can't pour from an empty cup. You cannot love another if you don't love yourself. You cannot respect others if you cannot respect yourself. So building the self-esteem of the children is very important. It's very, very important that we build the child's self-esteem and do not say or do anything which actually brings down the self-esteem. Now, when we want them to become responsible, we need to promote independent learning. Because independent learning, it makes the child accountable. There were many nice sessions that we had about this, about flipped classroom, where the child is teaching. They are actually learning themselves because that's how they're able to teach others. So these are small little things with which we can promote these kind of, the values in them. When we talk about respect and responsibility, it is not only for the people, but also for the environment too. As we had our last session, we need to teach our children to be responsible citizens. And when we say we are responsible citizens, we have to ensure that they learn to respect what Mother Earth is giving them, what nature has given to us. We have been misusing it. We are misusing it a lot. And Ms. Sonal had given some small tips that carry your own plastic bag, carry your own shopping bag. Be a responsible consumer. Don't hoard things. Don't keep buying things and hoarding it. Be a responsible consumer. Don't waste food. All the SDGs come into being respectful and responsibility. So we respect the environment for what it is providing us, and we be responsible citizens and ensure that our Mother Earth does not get overburdened because of our activities. Should we integrate values in education? What do you have to say? I will not open the Padlet link because I'm not sure whether it will work or not. If it doesn't work again, then it is going to be a problem. So I would like to hear a yes or a no in the chat. I would love to see that. If you can please, 2 minutes, if everybody could just answer that. Should we integrate values in education? Yes. So I would definitely love to see more answers coming in. Thank you, Usman. Thank you, Unmay, Shimla, Fazal Baba. Absolutely, yes, yes, of course. Thank you, Anusha. Others, please, because it's always nice to know what everybody feels. That's what I said. This the education influence. Hi, Anupa, just a reminder, you have 5 minutes left for a session. Every lesson should be, yes, absolutely. This ties in with shifting our individual culture. Yes, to it, definitely, Francis. Definitely. Yes. So I'm sure that all of us agree that we need to integrate these values. And it is not something which is a very difficult task. I don't think so, because I made it as simple as possible so that everybody knew that how they could do it. It's the baby steps. It's the big steps, or they say that small steps that make the big picture. So when we start integrating it them from the beginning, right from the, year 1s, year 2s, rather than focusing more on the content of the curriculum, if you focus on the values, I think all the other things take shape on its own. Because when children are happier, engaged in their learning, they automatically become, successful learners and individuals when they grow up. This is a typology of the value education approaches. I will be sharing this with everyone. So I just thought, what is the purpose of inculcation, the moral development, analyzing, values clarification, action learning, and how you can do it. So the methods are there. The purpose of it is mentioned over there clearly. So you can definitely use this and see whatever is applicable. See, everything will not be applicable for all the schools. It will be that some schools can adopt something and adapt it according to their needs. Others can take whatever suits their, situation the best. So I will be sharing this with Ms. Anusha, and she will, of course, be posting it. And in case if anybody wants to get in touch, other than that, I'm always here. So with this, I come to the end of my session for today. I don't know what the time is. I hope I've not taken too much of time. So this is my mail ID and my phone number, my LinkedIn. You can always connect with me, and my Twitter handle. And with that, I come to the end of my session. So we can always have, floor is open for the questions. Anybody would like to, I'm always there.
Thank you, Anita. That was amazing. And you do still have 8 minutes left left. And thank you for sharing us the importance of integrating values along with education for our children. It's so important. It will empower them with the ability to be happier when they step out in the world for a career, which is very, very important as well. And we do have love pouring in from all over the world for you, obviously.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone.
You're welcome. Then we have Sonal, Sylvia, and Teresa. Sylvia is tuning in from Italy. Teresa is tuning in from Indonesia. Omo is tuning in from Nigeria, I believe. Francis from Ireland. They all are agreeing with you. Jyoti from India. Rajani Mukherjee. Let us know where you're tuning in from. She's also agreeing with you. And Francis says, I done similar activity with adult learners, writing a note to each other, a note from each member, no names, positive comments, and it is overwhelming positive for everyone. Changes the culture in the class. Great, Anita. And Sylvia writes, the gratitude journal is a good idea. Thank you. I had this activity, fruit salad, during first week of school with my first grade students. They had a great time. Wow, that's amazing, Sylvia.
That's nice. That's nice.
Yeah. And Usman writes, very informative. Thank you, presenter, for a job well done. Thank you, Usman. And Otima is tuning in from India. Hello, Otima. She writes, I've been taking my students to an old age home with food prepared by students and some skit and song.
Lovely. That's lovely. Yeah, that's great. That's great.
And
keep
also
doing that good work.
Some games. And also they organized some games. And Woody writes, this is very insightful. Thank you very much. And Anita, please, I would like to have these materials. Thank you. Yes, she will make all materials ready and send them to us, and we will make it ready for you and send you an email with details with every links for you. Thank you very much, Unmi. And then we have Sonia writing too, gratitude, humility. Thank you very much, Sonia. And Usman saying the same thing about resources and our presentation. Yes, we will showcase them on our platform and we will sending them to you. Thank you very much. And we are agreeing with you, obviously, Anita. And yes. And Francis again says, absolutely, this ties with shifting our individualist cultural mindsets towards environments issues too. Thank you. And we have Anzezavila sharing, we are human beings with certain values and we are teachers. We don't let human being outside the classroom. I think is the main core of formation of the teacher. Yes, Anzeza, and let us know where you're tuning in from, please, if it's possible. And we have Francis sharing a lovely presentation, Anita. Thank you. Interaction don't always work, but even with chat, you allow participants to take part. This is value adding in itself. Yes. That is so true, Francis. I love your comment. Anita, please show the last slide. I need your phone number as well as your email address. Ooh, okay. Well, thank you. Anita will share them shortly with you and Otima. Thank you very much. Yes. Thank you, Yaleen. Hi, Yaleen. Great presentation. Thank you so much. Yaleen, let us know where you're tuning in from. Hi, Shimla Fazal Bawa. Let us know where you're tuning in from. Hi, Omo. Thank you, Anita. Awesome presentation. I like the fruit salad idea. Thank you, Omo. Hi, Shruti. If there's one value to be placed above all others, which one would that be? There's a question for you, Anita.
I would like to answer that. Yeah, Shruti, I would place gratitude, because when you're grateful, even for the smallest of the things, then by default, you start going on the right path. Because as I said, I did one activity with my children, which was I took every letter of the alphabet. Like we started with A to Z. I told every day, take the first 3 letters or the first 4 letters or the first 5 letters. And if you do not want to do about the first 5 letters, even the first letter, start from A and write over there, what are you thankful for? So now children wrote that we are thankful A for, they could not think of much. So they wrote about air, that we breathe air. So we are thankful to the air for giving us the oxygen and taking in our carbon dioxide. So when that thought came in, what it did, the next question that I asked them for that is that if you are thankful for the air, then what is it that you're going to do so that the air does not get polluted? And then they said, "Ki ma'am, we will ensure that we reduce, we do not burn plastic. We do not throw we don't use much of plastic, and we will plant more trees so that there is more fresh air. So you see, this is why that feeling of gratitude, the gratefulness, the thankfulness, that is why gratitude is called the mother of all values. Because if you become grateful for every small thing that happens in your life or what you have, then you by default start doing things which affect or, kind of cause any kind of harm. You will start avoiding doing those things. So gratitude, for me, I feel is the value, the core value, which everybody should inculcate in themselves, especially the children.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Anita. And ladies and gentlemen, please let us know where you're tuning in from. It's possible. And we can see that you're tuning in from all parts of the world. What a beautiful way to put it across. Thank you so much. Thank you, Shruti. Thank you, Anita. And Teresa Boki writes, thank you, Anita. It is beneficial and nice presentation. Values is important. Then it can help students for the future. That is true. And Shruti is tuning in from the United States of America. Hello, Shruti.
Well.
And we have, Deborah, tuning in from Nigeria. Hello, Deborah. Hello, Nigeria. And please let us know where you're tuning in from. And we have Omo tuning in from Maiduguri, Nigeria. Thank you. Shimlu Fazal Bawa is tuning in from Australia. Usman is tuning in from Nigeria. And please let us know where you're tuning in from. Let the love keep pouring in. Unmi is also from Nigeria. Okay, we have a number of participants from Nigeria. Thank you so much. We love that. And Sonia McPherson is tuning in from India. Thank you, Sonia. And anybody else? Please let us know where you're tuning in from. And I do have one more question for you, Anita, before I say goodbye to you.
Yes.
I believe, I've written that in the chat box as well. I believe that values are culture specific. So what is considered a decent behavior in one culture may be unpleasant in another. For instance, making animals suffer is very unpleasant value in a society where people from vegetarian people, where people are vegetarian, they have vegetarian habits. So what is your take to this? Can we find the highest common values universally accepted?
Most of the values are universally accepted, except for some which are very culture specific. But when you talk about honesty, when you talk about gratitude, when you talk about integrity, these values, the care, respect, responsibility, care, compassion, these values, if we are talking about, they are universal. Because every culture, every community focuses on these. But yes, there are some values which may be culture specific. Now, when they are culture specific, I think it leaves on to the specific, society to think about whether it is right or whether it is not wrong. What we can do from our own part is that we avoid, if possible, to be a part of that culture. That's the least that we can do. We cannot impose anything.
You, Anita,
but of course, yes.
Sometimes it is not possible to just ignore our culture because we are cultural bound.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. Okay, the best thing or the least that we can do is not be a part of that if we can, if it is possible. But we cannot create that kind of difference or an indifference over there, because if you're part and parcel of it, then you are with it. But if you're not, then it's good for you. But if you're there with it, you need to see that how you can make that change. I always say that every one of us has the capacity or the ability to be the change maker and be the change that we want to see in others. So why not be a leader and make that change rather than being a follower and say that, okay, fine, this is what is happening and this is what will keep happening and I cannot do anything about it. You stand up for it and speak about it. Make them understand, okay, you may not have the entire community with you, but you'll definitely find maybe one person or two people or 10 people who may like your idea. So it is slowly you build upon it and then you work upon it. But yes, there are some, I do totally agree with you, Anusha, that there are some values which are very culture specific and there's nothing much that we can do about it. But yes, we can do whatever we can within our means. That's what is the key, that we do what we can do, what is within our means.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Anita. Thank you very, very much. We have Sylvia writing Italy. Yes, Sylvia is tuning in from Italy. That's amazing. We love Italy. Thank you. Dr. Fatima is tuning in from Bangalore, India. Thank you, Dr. Fatima. Teresa is tuning in from Indonesia. Solomon is tuning in from Nigeria. And he writes, awesome presentation, Anita, from Nigeria. And we have
Thank you, Solomon.
Prabha tuning in, splendid and enlightening session. Thank you, Anita. Prabha is tuning in from India. And we have Opayemi tuning in from Nigeria. And she writes, quite eye-opening, Fahidat from Nigeria. Oh, that's so sweet. Thank you, Opayemi.
Thank you.
And we will be showcasing her presentation on our platform, and we'll be sending you an email very, very soon. So thank you so much, Anita. Thank you very, very much for your lovely presentation. Thank you for being part of the Education Influence Global Conference. Thank you for your background. It is amazing, and everybody around the world will see your background when we showcase your recording on our platform. Thank you very, very much.
Yes, because see, this platform has given me this opportunity to be on a global platform. So why not? I would definitely want Education Influence to be all around, where I want more members to be there as part of, because Education Influence is doing an amazing work. And I can't get over Gavin at all. I cannot thank him enough. And I cannot thank you enough, Anusha, because I know the wonderful story sessions that you have. I love them. I watch them on Upschool.
And Anita, I want you to tune in tomorrow as well, because it's my 365th day of
I saw that on LinkedIn. I saw your post on LinkedIn that you was the 365th. I was thinking I need to.
If you're free, you could just tune in. Anybody, ladies and gentlemen, it's just a simple storytelling session, and I will guarantee you that you're gonna love it. I mean, when I read stories, it's for all ages. They all can relate. I don't tell it just for kids. It's not just for kids. I mean, it is for kids, but it's not just for kids. So you can just tune in.
They're lovely. Your sessions are amazing.
Thank you, Anita, and lovely presentation. Thank you very, very much. And now,
thank you, everyone. Thank you, everyone.